Dear friends, good evening or good morning for you because tomorrow I am releasing. This is the part 2 of the forest clearances. What I request you, this will be a series of around 7 to 8 lectures. Already part 1 of forest clearance has been released. Now part 2, one more part also will come part 3. After that, we will be dealing with MMDR Act, MMDR rules, regulation, development and regulation rules, then mineral concession rules. All together we will be dealing under one head. Even they will also be around 3 to 4 lectures. After that, we will be going for environmental clearance, which will be probably useful for you uh, at least our examination and also for your mind in case you are going to help your owners in getting environmental clearance. Now, let us go ahead with part 2. This is a continuation of what we have learned. Earlier, we told what is a forest, this, that, everything. Now, in this class, we will be learning, in case you have to forward an application for forest clearance, please remember this procedure is applicable only if the land you are taking is in the forest. Otherwise, you don't need all these things. So, assuming you are taking a land in your forest, what happens? First of all, there are two conditions in that. One, either it is a fresh case, first time you are applying for forest land diversion, or earlier you got forest land diversion and now you are applying for renewal. Okay? Now, if it is the fresh case, you have to apply before 90 days. If you are interested, you can make small note of this, or the notes what I have already given, in that you make underlines. That is what we were doing earlier. Make underline of it. When you go through the notes, you need not read all the 100 pages in future. Just read the underlines. If it is a renewal case, you should apply 60 days before. Okay? Now, so how many days before you have to apply, it is clear. If the land you are applying is greater than 40 hectares, any case you have to do it through state government only. Because let us say you are staying in Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh or Madhya Pradesh, wherever you are staying. So the state government should know, isn't it? So whatever application you are forwarding, whether it is above 40 hectares or below 40 hectares, or whether it is fresh case applying before 90 days or before 60 days in renewal, you have to do it through state government only. Please remember this. If it is more than 40 hectares, you will forward it to Secretary Government of India. It is mentioned as only Secretary Government of India. Obviously, it must be MOEF. If it is less than 40 hectares, you have to apply it to the regional office of Ministry of Environment and Forest and CC. Earlier, the name was only MOEF. Now they have added CC, means climate change. You need not worry about that. The regional offices, there is one in Chennai, one in Bhopal, and different regional offices are there. In southern region, it is in Chennai. Earlier, it was in Bangalore and Chennai. Now, everything is in Chennai. So, if it is less than 40 hectares, the regional office will be dealing the case. If it is more than 40 hectares, you have to forward it to central government. Okay. Now, once it goes to central government, it goes to Forest Advisory Committee. Now you need not be surprised. In fact, you are better than what I am in the knowledge about committees. Because already you have learnt about committees. You remember? It is in section 12. Okay, good. Yes, you remember. Now, same way, there is one more committee in these rules that is known as Forest Advisory Committee. Okay. This Forest Advisory Committee also has got some members. It has also got some bylaws, duties, but here, for our purpose, for our examination purpose, only very limited information is sufficient. Who is the chairperson of Forest Advisory Committee? A question can come, 1 mark. It is Director General of Forest. Please don't get confused between Inspector General and Director General. Because Director General is the ultimate, like your Director General of Mine Safety, Director General of Civil Aviation, something like that. Okay. So Director General of Forests is the chairperson. Additional Director General is one of the members. Now, like there, we were having some experts, you remember in section 12? Here, you have an expert from Ministry of Agriculture about soil conservation, because after all, when you are damaging forest, it is about the soil, what you are damaging. So you need to have a person from soil. Then three eminent persons. You remember we had actually four eminent persons there, our committee in mining, section 12. Two from, I think you were representing union, two from this one, owners, and some two from eminent personalities in research and education, all that. Like that, here you have three eminent persons in forestry. They should be eminent in forestry, like environment man and other things. They are non-officials, they are not employed anywhere. Then Inspector General of Forests is the member secretary. Okay, there we had a secretary, not member secretary. Their secretary was any RI, regional inspector, who is nominated by our chairman. There it was Director General of Mine Safety. Here it is Director General of Forest. This is the difference. Now the tenure and other things are, I think, 2 years only in this case. Nobody will ask you. This point you have to just remember. Fresh cases are submitted in Form A and renewals in Form B. I request you, this Form A and this Form B are not like our rules Form A, Form B. These are the Form A and Form B in Forest Act, under Forest Act. Those Form A and Form B are under Mines Act. So I request many people not to get confused, okay? I am sure you know that, but here, as an old man, I am telling you. Now, once the application goes to Forest, FA committee means Forest Advisory Committee here. Forest Advisory Committee, it will go through that application. What it will go through? Will it only read whether language is good or photographs are nice? No. It will mainly concentrate on attention towards flora and habitat. Habitat means living beings. It can be human being, it can be animals, it can be any kide makode. You know, don't underestimate kide makode. They are very, very important for soil at times. And do you know, when most of you would have gone through foreign countries, if some of you, they don't allow you to take plants and seeds. If some of you know, why? You know, this particular seed and plant belonging to this particular era, or rather soil, they don't want it to spoil that area. It may spoil. So they don't want the chance. In the same manner, a flora or a habitat or any seed or a plant of one place may not grow or may even damage in other place, or may be supporting also, but why to take a risk? Anyway, what Forest Advisory Committee will do? It will study the flora, habitat and all other things in the proposed area, and attention is given to highly eroded area. What happens is, whenever you do mining, if it is in such a place where lot of erosion may take place due to mining, पूरे चौपट हो जाएगा. इट इज नॉट ओनली योर माइन, पूरे डाउन हिल में खराब हो जाएगा, अपहिल के पानी खराब हो जाएगा, पूरे स्लाइड्स हो जाएगा, वेरी डैमेज. सो they will not be seeing only your mining of 5 hectares, they will be seeing all the related and linked projects. Okay, that is attention towards highly eroded area, especially in hilly terrains. In hilly terrains, if you give some mine in the foot bottom, let us say, what happens? The hilltop area can get eroded, it can slide. What else it will see? It will see whether there is any agricultural development in the area, are you spoiling it? Then it will check, is there any no other alternative? ये क्या जरूरी है कि is it important you should do only in the forest and spoil everything? So they will check whether alternates are there or not. Whether state government undertakes the acquisition, all these things advisory committee will study and give its findings. What findings it will say don't give, or it will say reject it or you approve it. So the same thing is communicated by the central government to the persons. Now, other some important points. Trees means palm trees and bamboos are also trees under Forest Act. State government has powers to declare any land as forest land. Like let us say you are staying in some place. Suddenly they can come and say, sir, Umesh Charpe Saab, I know his name, he was my friend since many years. It can say, sir, your house is forest, please vacate, we will give you compensation. So he can ask what is the reason you are calling forest, are there any tigers or very important things. So it has a right to declare any land as forest. What happens if somebody declare a land as forest? A forest settlement officer is posted. Not that only one small portion is declared as forest, some 500 hectares, 100 hectares, 10 square kilometers. In that place, in that 10 square kilometers, there may be some settlements, some houses, some bridges, roads, all these things. So, this forest settlement officer is not a lifetime post. One officer like you working in the department will be temporarily posted as Bhai Sahab, you are the forest settlement officer for acquisition of this 100 hectares in so and so district. Okay? So that FSO does all these things. He will give notice in newspapers saying that Phalana area we are going to declare it forest for the purpose of so and so. This is order of government. You are requested to inform any objections. Objections to आएगा ही. And we are going to settle your claims. So they will claim. आप तो न्यूज़पेपर इससे अच्छा पढ़ते, you know lot of claims, it doesn't break. NGOs will come, they will do lot of strikes, some people will come with jhanda, all that jhamela will take place, but this has to be settled because it is for the public community work. If they don't agree for any compensation, not that they love that money, don't love that money and donate it, no. They will say, no, you wanted to give only 2 lakhs, we want 40 lakhs. Generally it starts like that. Then FSO finally he fixes some amount and through court he pays them. Then gaya. Now let us say the land what he has taken, there is a canal. Private canal means not that it is owned by some Ved Kumar or Venkatesh or some other Dubeji. No. It is a canal dug for some cultivation or some alternate pasturate means for grazing. Then if any alternative is available, the FSO has a right to stop that canal. He can say, no, don't come here, gone. Next. Pasturing means cattle ko khilate na, pasu wo sab. Then damaging of trees or clearing vegetation can be banned. This is one more point. If in an area, when they will ban clearing vegetation, chota mota ped bhi you cannot cut. When they will ban, when the storms and floods are expected, they can ban. No, sorry, this area is storm and flood prone. You don't cut any tree, otherwise you will go for 12 years in jail. Or for preservation of soil, maintenance of water supply for springs and rivers. This is very important. Now already 13 minutes is over. I cannot take much time. You will get bored. How these springs are charged? We will take in a geological lesson. It's a very interesting thing. Springs, the production of bridges and for prevention of public health. Under these conditions, under the Forest Act, they can ban cutting off trees or even clearing the vegetation. In which condition? There are some conditions where you don't need forest clearance. One, for mineral investigations, not mineral eating away, investigation, without damaging or without any pits. Survey, this is for survey. Gentlemen, please remember, याद रखिए, ये सर्वे करने हेतु मिनरल इन्वेस्टिगेशन करने के लिए ड्रिलिंग करना पड़ता, आपको कुछ सैंपल कलेक्ट करना पड़ता. Not for that you need forest clearance. It is for doing the survey. वो दूरबीन लेके करते ना ऐसा. For that you do not need clearance. Only thing local guard को बोल के you can do for mineral investigation with a letter from government. Transmission line survey, hydroelectric project survey, for seismic studies, oil exploration survey, it is not needed. It does not need any permission from central government. But condition is only pruning is permitted. Pruning means वो छोटा मोटा पेड़ पौधे ऊपर काटने का. Not that you will cut the entire tree. Because when you do survey, the line of sight should be visible. बीच में पत्ते वित्ते कुछ आ गया तो पौधे, it will not be visible. So only pruning is permitted. But one thing, the very important thing, this point, If the above survey is in the national park or any wildlife sanctuary, आप कुछ भी करिए, even if you do normal survey, you need prior permission. Is it clear? Now, sometimes the MMRD, under MMRD, Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation, it is MMDR, please correct it. When they give permission for test drilling, the survey is over. Now you have already taken permission. You cannot drill more than 10 holes in 100 square kilometers. Means for every 10 square kilometers, one hole. You cannot drill more than that in the initial stage. Once the land diversion is complete, because you are doing reconnaissance and exploration. When you exploration, you are not expected to make bullet holes in that. So only limited holes, and that too 4 inches dia se bada drill use nahi karna chahiye. And the limitation is 10 holes for 100 square kilometers, means for every 10 square kilometers one hole. Now next important point, underground mining is also a non-forest activity. आप बोल सकते सर मैं underground mining कर रहा हूँ, is it a forest activity? If your underground mine is running below the forest, above forest is there, below that your mine is there, even then it is non-forest activity, means it is against forest. When you take up the renewal, forest clearance is needed in this case also. Now, when in the case of underground mines, what to do in the next lesson we will be sent. But here please remember, this is very important. When underground proposal is sent, especially people working in underground manganese mine and other areas below the forest, the subsidence impact study has to be done. Earlier it was not there. In the subsidence impact study, the strain should not be more than 20 mm per meter. You remember strain? You remember strain? You remember tensile strain, compressive strain, I have told earlier. That is change in length to the original length. Okay, change in volume to the original volume in the first lessons earlier 1 month back. So that is the strain. It cannot be more than 20 mm per. Surface cracks should not develop more than 200 or 300 mm wide. Keeping these conditions in mind, you should plan your underground mine. You should assure them. Not that it will make 10 meters of gaps and you will have to jump on that and go on the other side. No, it is not permitted. Even 200 mm means that is 20 centimeters to 30 centimeters. Okay, gentlemen, this is the second part of forest activity, diversion. Now on Monday, we will go for the third part of the forest, which completes. In that, we will come to know what are all the other factors in forest clearance, and hopefully you enjoyed this lesson. And last important thing, many people have booked in. Very shortly we are going to start your mining plan preparation and other things. Very overwhelming response is there. विधि विधान उसके हम लिख के भेज देंगे हिंदी और अंग्रेजी में in on Facebook and this. I have circulated the table which contains the coverage. Please go through the coverage, and if you love, please do it. At most one of these or 2 sessions we will be doing after this, and I wish you best of luck. Stay safe. Thank you.